Hi guys, today we're bringing you some amazing news. We are starting a weekly series focused on DeFi yield farming opportunities, best places to park your liquidity alongside airdrop opportunities. Of course, as you know, for the last 1 year approximately, airdrops have been going a little slower, but there is always great opportunity to make money in crypto. This will be a close collaboration with our DeFi wizard Chris, who has been performing incredibly for the last 2 years. And in particular, for our own community, almost 1 year going strong now. We also have some great news on this department, but more on that later in the video. So even though we're bringing you the curated list of best places to park your liquidity, airdrop farm, and secure yield, you need to understand that all of these things we'll be doing in DeFi is very risky. You can always lose money with impermanent loss or even smart contract risk. Those are serious dangers, which is why we're able to secure such incredible yields. Nothing comes without risk. You need to understand this and do your own research, because nothing we will talk about is ever considered financial advice. Understandably, this is primarily an airdrops focused channel, so we will always try to double dip with both triple-digit APRs as well as best airdrop opportunities, and there's no reason to look further away from SUI. Also, I will do my best to share my thought process and research strategy, so you can also replicate this for whatever chain and whatever ecosystem you're feeling most bullish about. And the tools we're going to be using is primarily DeFi Llama and Dune dashboards. One thing I cannot believe is that Dune doesn't have their analytics for SUI nor Hyperliquid just now, but at least they do have for Solana. So how does this look on DeFi Llama? We're going to be looking at SUI projects that have had the highest growth in total value locked over the last couple of days, alongside some of the standard winners, such as, of course, Cetus, Bluefin, Momentum, Magma Finance, and a couple others. In practice, we're going to be comparing the tried and true formula of volume against TVL on a weekly basis. You can also use fees and revenue. Fees were going to be very useful to see if these metrics add up, and the revenue will be somewhat useful if the project has an ongoing airdrop campaign to see how many users it has and how profitable the airdrop might be once it actually happens. So understanding this, we can see that a huge discrepancy is actually happening on Cetus right now, which has 785 million in 7-day volume, while only holding about 85 million of the TVL on chain. In this case, we can take a look at Cetus and see some of the farms which could be providing very good yields, such as, for example, the DMC USDC pairing, which is, of course, a slightly more risky pair, but it is yielding 360%. And you also have this DMC SUI, which is going to give 437. But remember that these numbers are oftentimes wrong, assuming that liquidity in the pool is as little as a couple thousand or even as little as $100,000. Then these numbers are probably not going to be very realistic. Just means that somebody pulled out liquidity recently from the pool and the numbers of volume and fees have remained the same. If we're going to be going a little more safer pairing, then we can go down the risk curve and find maybe some SUI USDC or perhaps good yielding Walrus SUI pairing. In this case, if you're bullish on the SUI ecosystem, Walrus and SUI pairing should make a lot of sense, considering that these two tokens should, in theory, move at the same or similar pace. Of course, if you value your time and maybe even manage a bigger portion of your portfolio in crypto, then you have no excuse not to spend most of your time alongside people with same financial goals and opportunities. We've created a Discord community going strong for more than 2.5 years now, where you can discuss all of these topics in much detail with serious DeFi veterans and DeFi degens. If this is something that interests you, then check the subscriptions page, where you can find all the information regarding monthly, yearly plans and an airdrop tracking application to keep you organized along the airdrop side of this journey. Now, regarding the most important announcement on the yield farming coup NFT, there's been some huge changes and inflows in the program. I cannot go into too much detail, but we will do an update with Chris in the next couple of weeks. Also, a reminder that you don't actually need to be in the Discord to participate in this program. If you're just interested in the NFT side of things, you can join the free Telegram, where we discuss all of these topics and we answer all your questions in a timely fashion. All the links of everything are always going to be associated in the first link or the description of the video. Of course, we want tokens moving at the similar pace because that would minimize our impermanent loss if some market changes happen dramatically. My favorite pairing for a while has been Deep SUI because these tokens have been more or less correlated. Usually, if Deep does well, that means that the SUI ecosystem is booming. Of course, the tried and true favorite of the channel has been for a while Momentum, constantly growing TVL, airdrop campaign for more than 10 weeks remaining, and usually some of the best APRs that you can find across the whole SUI ecosystem. If you appreciate a little bit of SUI memes, you can always take a small risk with these Lofi SUI pairings, which are yielding insane APRs at the moment. But of course, the TVLs are relatively small in some of these places, so you need to take these APRs with a grain of salt. Alternatively, there's very good deep USDC pairing offering 250% APR with a 0.2% fee range, and you can also find some decent almost triple-digit APRs on Wall USDC, actually 200%, and many others. Finally, one piece of information regarding Momentum, they have an ongoing campaign with OKX Wallet to get sizably boosted APRs on XBTC SUI and SUI USDC pairing, actually 145% and 171%, and all you have to do is simply use the OKX Web3 wallet. When importing your wallet or creating a new one, but if you're going to be importing your wallet, make absolute sure to follow official links from their X account, because the worst thing you can do is import your seed into a scam kind of link or something. So go from official X account of OKX wallet and go from there. Of course, if you need to change the language, top right, and in this part, just click English or whichever makes sense to you. Now let's take a look at Bluefin and Magma Finance. Bluefin has one of the best UIs, and at the moment it is offering the best yield on currently mentioned pairings such as DMC, USDC, or Walrus and SUI. However, doesn't have as big of an airdrop angle such as Magma Finance. This one is offering much more conservative APRs, but they do have an ongoing points program. So if you want to more bet on an airdrop angle, this should be one of your options.
Hey guys, we partner with What Exchange, one of the greatest decentralized exchange right now in the market. I love that you can see everything on your screen at once. You can connect to What Exchange from different mainnets, and you can see here the list of hundreds of tokens. They are continuously adding more tokens each week. And What Exchange has an active airdrop. They are going to distribute 30% of the total supply, guys, into this airdrop. So that is why I am super bullish trading here too. You can see here the point section that they added recently, so you can check everything about your progress on this airdrop. And in trading, you can see how many order tokens you earn because they have this payback system from the fees that you pay. Part of that goes back to you on order tokens. So check the link on the description to join to What Exchange, trade on the platform, participate on the airdrop of the 30% of the supply, and also get some order tokens back. All the links are in the description.
And final piece for SUI has to do with FlowX Finance, which had a huge growth in the last 7 days. So of course we have to check out what's the deal with that. At the moment, looking at their announcements, they only have some basic straightforward announcements happening on their X account. However, in their yield department, we're not seeing anything special. So maybe by the time you're watching this video, something will have changed. But at the moment, there's only triple-digit APRs on SB ETH USDC that is maybe worth our attention. And to wrap up, we have two stablecoin positions that you can consider from both airdrop and yield perspective. Ethena Labs has launched Infinify, which is basically a stablecoin yielding protocol that you can generate between 6 to 15% APY, depending if you're willing to lock your position for a certain amount of weeks. Of course, the other one is Infinex. Infinex is one that we believe to be one of the better airdrop targets, but this is a little more speculative, even though people who have deposited and stayed active on the program have already received sizable amount of airdrops. And the last piece of breaking news comes from Pump Fun, who have just announced that they're going to have a token sale happening on July 12th, 1400 UTC, so 2 p.m. And it's going to launch as expected at 4 billion in valuation, which seems a little bit unreal. So perhaps a dump is going to happen as soon as the sale finishes. It's going to be listed on Bybit, BitGet, MEXC, and other main exchanges. with airdrops soon to follow after. And that is all for the topics for today. If you like this new series, you are more than welcome to share your feedback, both positive and negative, because we want to make sure that this content is tailored to our audience. So you're welcome to join in the conversation, both in our Discord and in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and till next time, have an amazing day.